the more doors we go through, the more we are more aligned with ourself, our true nature, feeling fulfilled. So we can look at those as like, okay, yeah, I don't really like this right now, but I know it's helping me become more fully who I am here to be.
Hey everyone, it's Amy Lynn Durham, and you're listening to Create Magic at Work. Create Magic at Work is on a mission to equip senior leaders with tools they need to be a true quantum leader and actually understand what that means. Improve employee engagement, retain top talent, and transform your workplace culture to have less drama and stress. So let's start making magic. Hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Create Magic at Work. I have a fellow Edgewalker facilitator as a special guest today, Peggy O'Neal. And let me tell you a little bit about Peggy. Peggy's journey began in law, but destiny had bigger plans, as I guess it does for quite a few of us. After 12 years, she followed a deeper calling, helping people unlock their truest potential. For 2 decades, she worked as a coach and speaker, helping thousands of people throughout the world achieve their most ambitious goals. And we're going to get into that today. I can't wait because Peggy has a transformative perspective on achieving goals and dreams and wants to talk to us about how life really works. So I can't wait to hear her insights on that. So, beneath the surface of success with Peggy was a quiet dissatisfaction. She stepped away from her successful practice and discovered in ancient wisdom traditions a profound truth. Authentic knowing emerges not from external seeking, but from within. This revelation transformed both her life and her approach to transformation itself. Today, through her wisdomary leading methodology, Peggy guides changemakers to embrace their innate wisdom and express their unique genius. Her work empowers leaders to live authentically and turn their highest aspirations into reality. A certified integral master coach with a Juris Doctor, she has authored chapters in groundbreaking books on transformation, including the Handbook of Personal and Organizational Transformation and Pointers to Freedom, a collection of non-dual inspired writing. Her distinguished career includes serving as Assistant Attorney General and State Purchasing Director under Bill Clinton in Arkansas, later joining his presidential administration in the Federal Labor Relations Authority. Peggy, welcome to Create Magic at Work. This is like months in the making here for us, right?
I'm quite excited to be here with you.
Oh my gosh, we've tried to record this interview for a while and we've just kept having technology mishaps and all sorts of wonky things. So I think that as we both, I'm sure, believe divine timing is upon us and this is the right time to be having this conversation. So I want to dive right in. I'm like, you say you have a transformative perspective on achieving goals and dreams and how life actually works. Help us. What are you talking about with that? I mean, every day we're in this hyper achieving world of wanting to achieve goals, make money, driving towards this. We're sitting in already springtime here and everyone's talking about how much money have you made in your business? What's going on? What are the goals? This, that, the other. What's the secret sauce? I ask everybody on the show for tips and it sounds like you're onto something.
Yeah. Well, I think I am. Yes. It's worked really well for me and my clients, and I write about it, of course, a lot too. And so, start at the beginning, which is we're all. I think most everybody feels like that they're part of something bigger. There's just something bigger going on. So that's and I'm going to call that, we call it the universe or spirit or consciousness. And so we do feel that on occasion, or sometimes people feel it more. And so what's really happening is that the universe is trying to express through us. We're like a force of nature that, and if you think about the universe and it's trying to express through us, that's incredible energy and force and dynamic. And we are here to express our unique wisdom, our unique contribution, our unique doing to bring to the world. And so that's the first thing to know is that, yes, this desire to accomplish or to create or to, have something be different, we can trust that if it's a true heart's desire. So here's the first distinction around this. If it's true heart's desire, like I can tell I'm just pulled to do this, I can't not do it. This is just something I'm drawn to do with my life. That's a good understanding to have, a sense to have, and that's distinct from an egoic want. So our egoic want is that, oh, I've got to make more money to feel secure. Oh, I've got to get ahead so that I look good to other people, and I'm honoring my degree, and I'm trying to get secure, and I'm trying to be successful in the eyes of others. Those are more egoic wants, and we've actually been conditioned to look that way in life. Am I keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak? Now, often at the beginning, when we start working in this with this understanding, the two are intertwined because, of course, we want to make more money to feel more secure. Of course, we want a relationship to feel loved and happy, or to accomplish our goals. But sometimes we can realize with it when we're pursuing these egoic goals that that's not really what I want. When we pause long enough and say, okay, if I didn't identify with what I'm culturally inclined to do and really listen to my heart, what do I really want? Sometimes we find out is something else, but often they're intertwined. So one of the secrets to this is, so let's assume that for most people, they are intertwined. When we're focused on our heart's desire, and so that's where wisdom-ary leading comes in. All of this is wisdom-ary leading, where we're listening to our wisdom. What's next for me? What's the next step in this endeavor? When I'm doing that, then I'm aligned with the universal forces. But what happens for most of us is we're more focused on what is the ego trying to accomplish. Even when at the beginning, even when we understand this distinction, if we're trying to be more successful, if we're trying to be secure with money, then we may constantly be looking and assessing against, am I successful yet? Do I feel secure yet? Do I have the money that's going to make me happy yet? As long as I'm trying to get secure by creating something, having something, that can't ever happen because our egoic self is never satisfied. It can't be satisfied because it's a thought. Our ego is a thought. It's an identity. I relate to these thoughts that I should have more. I should do better. All of those are the egoic thoughts, and we can't ever satisfy those thoughts. So when we realize that's going on, that we're focusing on what the ego wants to try to get us to feel secure, then we can pause and recognize that, and then stop focusing on that, and once again listen for what it is I truly want, because security comes and goes. I mean, we've all experienced that. We've had the exact money we've made, we've gotten a job, or we've made the money we wanted to in our business, and then it doesn't last very long. Uh-oh, what if it isn't enough? Or now my expenses have gone up. So we do know deep down that we can't ever find security out there in the seeking, in the doing, in the achieving. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want to do that. As I said, we're a force of nature. We want to achieve these things. But if we can untangle that, so I'm not focused on trying to become secure and focused on the desire, okay, I want 100,000 or I want $1,000,000, and we check in with, but why do I really want it? I really want it for things that matter to me. Then the other element to this is to realize that I'm already secure. I'm already loved. I'm already peaceful. So how do we do that? Okay, and I'm going to pause for a second to give a metaphor here. Are you with me so far? I mean, I know I'm talking a lot here. Do you want me to just keep going with this?
Yeah, that was one of my questions was, how do you feel? Because as you're sharing, I'm thinking, okay, yes, this is aligning with present moment, aligning with feeling secure in the present moment, aligning with quieting the voice of the ego and tapping into your higher self and or a higher power, if you believe in that, to operate from inner wisdom and compassion. So I'm even thinking for myself and for everyone listening, what's the key that turns that lock where we feel stable in the moment because I think part of that is seeking to feel fulfilled. My belief is it's not even to feel happy, it's to feel some sort of sense of inner peace. So how do you guide with wisdomary leading? How do you guide leaders to tap into that wisdom in the present moment?
So we're exactly the same place. So the metaphor to explain it is this, that when we're trying to seek security. Oh, I'm with you on happiness. I use that word a lot because a lot of teachers use that word. But by happiness, I also mean fulfillment, peace, calm. I don't mean happiness like a birthday present happy, that satisfaction, that deep satisfaction, that longing for that sense of peace, calm that we all have until we can recognize it. So metaphorically, if we can imagine that we're the sky, so I'm going to use the sky and clouds. So metaphorically, we're the sky. We are already fulfilled. We are already loved. We are already secure. But what we've been conditioned to do is to focus on the clouds in the sky. So for most people, the sky is pretty much covered over with clouds. So we're focusing on the clouds. When I have the money, when I have the relationship, when I have the success, we're focusing on the clouds all the time and not realizing, oh, but I'm already peaceful. I'm actually the sky. The clouds have me distracted from the sky. So back to your question about how do we access that wisdom, it's realizing that when we have our attention on trying to be secure, trying to make the money to be secure, that we're actually focused on the sky. And when we change the focus of our attention, then we keep checking in. Am I feeling secure? Am I getting there? Am I feeling more fulfilled? Am I feeling more loved? If we keep checking in there, we won't experience it because we're focused on something that can't ever sustainably be achieved. So what we do is realize that, oh, I'm trying to make myself happy. I'm trying to make myself fulfilled by achieving these things. So let me take my attention away from that and come back to the peace that already exists. So I can walk us through just a real quick exercise, back to what you said in my bio, that I realized I was seeking. People say, find a job to make you happy, find a relationship that makes you happy. So we're again conditioned over and over to think that we'll achieve the happiness or the success or the freedom by having something. It's like focusing on the clouds in the sky instead of realizing it already exists within me. So a quick way for people to access that it's already present is to, like right now, a listener could just put your attention on your feet. Just take your attention from listening and just put your attention on your feet and take a breath and then ask, is anything wrong right now? Does anything really need to change? If you take your attention away from all the activity, just focus on your feet, take a breath. Most of us will notice everything is pretty much okay, especially if we sit with it for a few seconds. We notice that nothing's really missing, that what was really happening before is our attention was on things that actually made us feel more insecure, and the seeking, which makes us more insecure, instead of realizing by relaxing our attention, shifting our attention away from all the activity. Oh, the peace is already there. I'm already secure.
Yeah, that was the resounding answer that came up, was kind of like, "No," and I almost, like, wanted to, when we just did this exercise, and I almost wanted to fight back the answer, like, "Well, wait a minute. I have all these goals, I have," but, like, when it was quiet, it was like, "Everything's okay, like, all is well. I'm safe, I'm here." I love that quick exercise. Thanks for sharing that. I'm curious, what are some of the ancient wisdom teachings that has shaped your approach?
So probably all great religions and great wisdom teachers say that we're all one being, that all there is consciousness, this one being. And the nature of consciousness is what we're talking about: peace, love, security. That's who we naturally, inherently are. And when we are born, we pretty much are experience that. We're really one with everything when we're born. And by the time we're 15 months, we've taken on an identity of a separate self, because everybody means well, but people say things like, I'm mom, this is dad, this is a tree, this is a car, this is a cat, and so on. And so at some point around 15 months, we go, oh, I must be an object too. I mean, it's not that rational. And so from that moment forward, we start taking on labels. I'm a good girl. I'm a bad girl. I'm a good student. I'm a lawyer. I'm a coach. And we take on these labels and we keep identifying with them and trying to keep those labels intact, because that's what the ego does. Whatever we've identified with, the ego wants to keep that exactly the way it is. Even if I'm not making great money, the ego wants to keep that intact because that's the identity I have. Oh, I struggle making money. I'm not good at making money. Oh, I'll never have what I want. And even though that's not useful for us, we are identified with that because that's what we tell ourselves all the time. So our ego will keep trying to get us to focus on that and then not have what we want. And then when we realize that, oh, yes, my narrative, my ongoing egoic narrative is telling me all of this, and it continues to show up in my life. That's just an incorrect understanding of who I am and who we all are. We share one being. We already are abundant, secure. And so when we relax our attention away from this egoic stance or back to the exercise we just did to change our focus from what we're focusing on, to relax into our true nature, then we realize, oh, yes, I already am feeling that. Now, the other piece to it, because this isn't just positive thinking or just relaxing the attention, just refocusing, all of that is very important, not the positive thinking part. But what we do is then when we realize, well, but I'm really challenged by this. I do struggle to make money. How do I deal with that? Then what we do is know that the beauty of the design of the universe is that the challenges that we have in life are actually the doorways to what we want. So if I believe that it's hard for me to make money or I'm never going to be the success I want to be, right there is the invitation. Right there on the other side of that doorway, I often call it a doorway, is the abundance we're looking for. So then what do we do about that? Okay, well, then we do something that's called self-inquiry, which back to the wisdom traditions. Wisdom traditions have taught us this for thousands of years, to explore, to turn around and look within and ask things like, so what's really going on here? Not trying to figure out a history, not trying to use a rational mind to explain it. We've all done those exercises. What are your beliefs? What are your patterns? I'm not talking about the rational exercises, but where we turn around and quietly and sincerely and with deep curiosity ask, what's really going on here? And let the challenge answer for us. That's, again, tapping into the wisdom. What is it that wants to be revealed here about what's actually going on?
Hey everyone, Amy here. Let's talk about work realities for a second. Whether you're dealing with a tough boss, struggling with team miscommunication, feeling stuck in decision making, let's be real, work drama exists and it's exhausting. But it doesn't have to be this way. At Create Magic at Work, we help leaders like you cut through the chaos, build next-level communication skills, and make better, faster decisions without the stress spiral. Whether you're leading a team or just trying to keep your sanity at work, we've got your back. We coach executives and teams like yours to develop interpersonal savvy, drive engagement, and bring your vision and purpose to life so work actually feels energizing again. Imagine that. More engagement, more productivity, less drama. Our executive coaching team has been in your shoes. We've led teams, navigated workplace challenges, and know what it takes to help you succeed and achieve your goals. real experience, real talk, and real results. If you're thinking, yes, Amy, we need this at my work, then let's talk. Click the link in the show notes and let us help you and your teams become a high-performing, engaged, and productive force of clarity and calm. I'll see you in the Zoom room. Let's throw the stress and drama out the window. Click on the link in the show notes. I feel like I understood that at another level. I love how you say the challenge is the doorway and looking at it that way. And that is such a great perspective or lens. If someone is sitting in a challenge that feels really difficult, it feels hopeful that it's the doorway, whether it's a relationship challenge or a challenge at work or any sort of perceived challenge. Just sitting with that, like, what's going on here? What am I learning here? What are some other questions we can ask to open the door? Like, what are some ways, if we feel like, okay, we are sitting with this something that feels like a big challenge in a relationship or work or life. If everyone's listening to you and I speak and we have this realization that, oh, it could be this doorway to something really amazing, how do we open the door?
So another way to do it is to ask ourselves, so what am I believing here? Again, be careful of the rational mind trying to answer that. So when we notice our mind like in a cold way, now sometimes the rational mind just has an answer. Ignore that answer. It might be the same answer, but we want it to organically arise. So we can ask, what am I believing right now? Oh, that he's not doing XYZ or whatever, or he doesn't love me. But is that true? Is that true? So when I said he's not doing something, that's not a belief, but I might say he's not doing something because he doesn't love me. That would be a belief. Well, is that true? And then how do I know that it's true? Do I have evidence that it's true? What if it's not true? What would be possible if I did not believe that? What would be different in my actions and my words and my experience if I did not believe that? What might be possible out of that? So that's another way.
Yeah. Then it all comes down to our experience and what this past couple of months on Create Magic at Work, this has just kind of been the energetic theme, is marveling at the stories that we're telling ourselves in our heads. And are they true? If you don't mind, I want to shift gears a little bit because I want to talk about your nonprofit as well, called Democracy is Us. Because one of the things I would love for you to share with everyone is you have a way as a coach to help people uncover root cause with conflict and then guide people to meaningful resolution. And so I want to talk about that because if you're a longtime listener of the show, we talk about being a wise and effective change agent quite a bit. And if you're new, of course, welcome to the conversation. But a wise and effective change agent is someone that uncovers root cause. They don't rush to quick fixes, among many other things. And they also look for win-win results with everyone involved. And you and I are recording this right now, and in the United States, there's a lot of political divide. And I feel like a lot of people not wanting to just sit and have a conversation with each other if they don't agree with you. I think it's really becoming a situation where we're really losing connection with each other as human beings. I should be able, this is all my opinion, but I should be able to sit with you and hear your thoughts. And if I disagree with them, I should be able to still sit with you at some level. I mean, I don't know, at some level to hear you out. I guess now that I'm saying this out loud, unless it's egregious to me. So now I'm kind of seeing both sides. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the polarities? How do we hold them in the same space to find win-win? How do we connect with the human behind? We were talking about we are all one, consciousness at the core of who we are. How do we get back to that when we're sitting with someone?
Well, I'll start with a non-dual answer, but then go into more well, this is as practical as you can get, but for some people it might be a little challenging to relate to. But Ramana Maharshi was a guru that he would never say he taught this, but I'll use these words, that he taught non-duality. And one time, one of his students said, "Well, how do we treat others?" And he said, "There are no others." And one of my clients, a lawyer, one time said, "Oh, I'm always talking to myself." So I'm doing that for this conversation. Lots of times when we're having workshops with Democracy Is Us, the nonprofit, it's nonpartisan, nonprofit. I wouldn't go the non-dual route. So back to your question of how to be with other people is to look at first, what is it, back to one of the original questions today, what is it I really want? Like, do I want to be right? I'm sure you talked about that before. Do I want to be right, or do I want a relationship? I mean, we've all heard that saying. That comes into play too. What do I really want? Do I really want to understand this other person, or do I want to be right? Or do I want to be angry? So like what I want is I want a country where democracy is the form of government and we're all working together to create the country that we want. So that would include then wanting to really deeply listen and understand somebody and not trying to get them to change their mind. If somebody is really rigid about their beliefs, no matter whether they're right, left, in the middle, we can't change their mind. And so the first thing we can do is honor that other person, that that's their point of view, and then be really curious. And yes, the whole time you're listening, it can be really challenging because we might be thinking, but that's not right, or I would rather say something else. Or so it does take reminding ourselves, I just really want to understand this person and I want to build a relationship with this person. And back to some of the root causes of these issues is that in our country anyway, we've taken democracy for granted. So that's one of the root causes, is we think democracy just exists. It is. It's because, like we say, I was born into a democracy. Then America is a democracy. It's a form of government, but it only exists with how the people participate in it. So what are our conversations, our relationships? A country, just like an organization, is only the people, the relationships, and the conversations. If everybody left the country right now, there'd be no United States. It's the people and our relationships and our conversations that are either creating democracy or undermining democracy. And yes, then we do activities, but they flow from our relationships and back to our beliefs and the way we relate to democracy. So the major root cause of the issues that we have, back to root causes, is first, we don't really understand what democracy is. We've just taken it for granted. We don't understand. Most people have it. I did up until a couple of years ago. I had democracy and politics conflated. And that's another reason why a lot of people don't want to talk about democracy, because they think you're going to talk politics and argue. And a lot of people don't want to argue, and they can't really explain why they believe the way they do. Really, most people really can't. So they get embarrassed and it's uncomfortable. So it's very hard to have these conversations for the most part. So those are part of the root causes. And then for each of us to turn around and look within. So back to a version of inquiry, to look within and, okay, what's my part in this? Because back to we're all one. This is one country, 300 million some odd people live here. Maybe I voted for or didn't vote for the person who is my representative or president or whatever, but I'm in this. I've lived here my whole life, or most of my life. I did live in Singapore for 14 months, but the rest of the time I've lived here my whole life. So I participated in this in some way. Even if I don't like the person elected, how did I participate or not participate, which is a form of participation, not participating, that I helped create what's occurring right now. And so it's being responsible. I want a democracy. The democracy will only exist if we truly want to govern ourselves. So that's another root cause, is understanding, again, what's democracy, what's my part, what do I want, and then how do I, what are my relationships and conversations that I'm creating the democracy I want, or maybe I'm undermining. So if we want people to get along and don't want to be divided, But then I want to go make somebody wrong. Well, right there, I'm participating in a divided, creating more division. So I'm more committed to making wrong and being right. I'm creating more division by definition. And I say I don't want that. Well, I do, because I just did that.
I love how you're sharing this, and everyone listening, that for us leading in the workplace, I think these are good questions you pose when we are dealing with divisiveness at work as well. Like, this is a great model to look at, what is my part in this? Am I contributing to this? Like, if you hit rewind on the conversation and listen to Peggy's questions, you can apply this as a wise and effective change agent in the workplace and rinse and repeat it in different parts of your life as well. And I think this is your perspective you're sharing is just a nice way to connect with each other as humans. One of my favorite quotes is from Anita Morjani. She wrote a book called Dying to Be Me, and she says, what we endorse is considered good or positive, and what we don't believe in is not. And so this also puts us in the position of needing to defend our beliefs when others don't agree. And when we invest too much of our energy in defense, we become reluctant to let go, even when our beliefs start to own us instead of the other way around. And that has always stuck with me as like, okay, I'm not going to get so rooted in my beliefs that I can't let go of them, even when things evolve or I am viewing something differently. I will try not to let my belief own me. I would like to own my beliefs and let them shift and change as I evolve through my existence. So I just wanted to share that. So recap one more time, like, what are some of those questions that you were sharing, and how to kind of analyze that to make sure we're coming from a win-win space?
So, what is it I really want? And this goes back to our individual goals as well. It's listening for what do I really want, not my egoic wants. Because our ego wants to be right, our ego wants to be successful. We want to be successful, but if it's the ego running the show, we'll never be fulfilled. Or it'll interfere with relationships, back to the culture. So it's always, what do I want? And really listen in my heart. Or for some people, it might be the gut area, but taking the attention off of the mind chatter, if you will, or what we say, the brain, our thinking, taking our attention away from thinking, go to the heart, to the wisdom, and really listen with curiosity. What do I really want? And then, so let's say there's something and I wish would be different. Then how am I engaging with the other person, or in my organizational culture? I'll take that out of the individual goal for a second, come back to that I'm helping create what's going on. That's a responsibility, because it's realizing if I'm working in an organization, if I'm living in a country, I'm participating. I'm not there. I'm not isolated. Even if I'm in a cage somewhere, I'm participating somehow by saying I'm out of here. But how does that support or not support what I really want for the place in which I live? Ken Wilber talks about that we live on a spectrum of rights and responsibility. So a lot of people just want to, especially in our country, the United States, we talk a lot about our rights. What are my rights? It's real individualistic, but we only have rights because of the country. So we're responsible for the country that gives us the rights. And a lot of people we've left out. Again, conditioning, we haven't been taught this. Nobody's wrong here, but it's to wake up to, oh, how much have I actually participated in this country as if I'm responsible for what's going on? And the same in an organization. If I'm an employee, I may be thinking, well, it's up to them, the bosses or the whatever, or maybe I'm the boss, but they're the problem. So, wait, I'm participating in these conversations too. Maybe I'm participating in the naysaying, and then is that really supporting what I want? And then as an individual, what would be a similar question? Let's see, how am I participating? So that would be part of it. But if I'm not creating what I want, then to look at what am I telling myself that I'm not creating what I want? and then to start questioning, that's going to be a doorway. Doorway. Oh, I'm telling myself I don't know how. I'm not capable. Okay, well, what, is that true, or what's really going on, or what's this? What am I really believing here? We want to be careful of why. Why is this? Why questions? Because that we tend to feel wrong when we do that. So, and it tends to go to maybe we try to find like an explanation, a story. So we want to avoid why questions. But basically, what I ask myself all the time is, okay, what's really going on here? Or we could ask, so what are you trying to tell me here? Or what's there for me to know here? What wants to be revealed here?
So insightful. I can't wait for this to air because I'm going to hit rewind and use this for some challenges I'm going through in my life and just remember the door and the questions. And thank you for sharing that. I have a final question for our interview today, and it's a big Edgewalker question because you and I are both part of the Edgewalker community. This is a Dr. Judy Neal coaching question. What can you sense but not yet see for the future of humanity?
I think that I think we're at a real crossroads. So I think the future, so I don't have like, because I think it's a crossroads right now. So I don't know. I mean, this is the immediate future. We're at a real crossroads. So are enough people actually going to start asking the questions we're asking here? What do I really want? What am I really here to contribute? I believe that all 8 billion plus people on the planet are here with a unique genius. I don't mean no proverb kind of wisdom, but I mean an intelligence that each of us we are consciousness. We're this brilliant life force, infinite intelligence, wise. And if each of us would really listen to that, oh my gosh, what could be possible? So I think we're at the crossroads of enough people starting to ask, okay, what do I really want? Why am I really here? Or the other direction would be that we become more and more separate. And we really, I mean, I don't know what will happen. Was they become more and more separate and individualistic? And I wouldn't want to predict what that is. But my hope is that people step into, when things fall apart, we know something is trying to be born. I hope enough of us step into that question. What is trying to come through me right now? What is trying to emerge right now? So I guess I'm more sensing into an opportunity, and then each one of us will go in some direction with regard to that.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that sense with all of us. That felt that was almost a call to action, really, for everyone as well. If people want to reach out to you and connect with you and have some coaching from you on breaking through that door, how can they connect with you?
Okay, and I do have one more thing I want to say about that door is that, of course, a lot of us don't like it, right? We've been told, oh gosh, something's going wrong. Oh, we want to start looking at it. Oh man, what a gift here! And the more doors we go through, the more we are more aligned with ourself, our true nature, feeling fulfilled. So we can look at those as like, okay, yeah, I don't really like this right now, but I know it's helping me become more fully who I am here to be. So anyway, so how can people reach me? Love to have a conversation with anybody that would like to talk about this. My email is Peggy, P-E-G-G-Y, at Peggy-O'Neal, O-N-E-A-L.com. I have occasional events and I write articles about what we're talking about today every week. And so if they would like that relevant information, they can sign up for my weekly email at www.peggy-O'Neal.com. And I have a LinkedIn profile that you're going to put in the notes. So yeah, connect on LinkedIn. Love to hear from people.
And Peggy and I are often attending the Edgewalker cafes that are monthly. So if you ever want to join us in the cafes, you can find the dates at edgewalker.org. Peggy, thank you so much for sending some magic to everyone today. So such a deep conversation that has me thinking. And as you were talking about the door there at the end, I was thinking, okay, your lips to universe's ears, because So I feel like I've been going through some challenges lately, and you really helped me, and I hope you helped everyone listening today. I know you did. You sent some magic to everyone today. So thank you for being a guest on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed being with you. And
I want to thank each and every one of you for coming back every week to listen to a new episode of Create Magic at Work and really helping to support and advocate for healthy leaders, workplaces, and lives for all of us. If you want any information on how to connect with me, click on the link in the show notes. You'll get access to all of the social media links for Create Magic at Work. Stay following along for more amazing episodes where we help you improve productivity and profitability in the workplace and decrease stress. Sending magic to everyone, and see you next time.